Hi, Brent Green here. Dr. Bradley asked me to record a presentation regarding Cloverleaf for the webinar that we did a few days ago. Happy to do that. Thank you, Casey Bradley, for the opportunity. My name is Brent. I love to bring out the best in people. I've been in the swine industry for over 30 years, have had positions in the US and internationally. At different times in my life, I have moved from technical to sales, technical sales, executive management, operations. I've had a large variety of roles, but they've always been in livestock, and they've always been at least 80% swine. So I tell you all that to give you my background. A recurring theme through the years for me is I love this idea that we're gifted uniquely, that we have a set of talents or strengths that can be developed around those talents. I love this idea that people are made uniquely and we can each contribute in unique ways to the organization that we work within or organizations that we're a part of, such as church groups or Rotary clubs or whatever they may be. So I love that idea. That's what's drawn me to assessments through the years. Personality assessments, strengths assessments, productivity assessments, those type of things. So today, I'm going to give just a brief presentation of Cloverleaf. Cloverleaf has a lot of those assessments wrapped up in one package. I call it a digital package, where you can have up to 10 assessments in one place on one platform. I'm going to show you that today. This is one way that I help people bring out the best in their teams, bring out the best in themselves. Cloverleaf is available because of my partnership with Summit Smart Farms. So first, this is a pyramid that we talk about at Summit Smart Farms. I really work down here in this equipped team section with Cloverleaf. So really working on developing teams for Summit. So how do we grow strong teams through Cloverleaf? What is Cloverleaf? It's an assessment. It's a platform of assessments that focuses on behavior or personality, culture, strengths, and productivity. So you have, once you get logged in, you have this platform. There's a me dashboard. There's all the assessments. There's email coaching and tips. I'm going to show you a little bit more detail in that in just a moment. How do you grow? We have up to 10 assessments on there at one time. There's also daily coaching tips available. Not only do you have those emails, coaching tips sent to you 2 times a week, but you can always log into your me page and see what your tips are for the day. And they're specific, customized to you. You can always log into those on your phone or on your computer. There's also focus on team growth. So there's a team page. I'll show you a bit of that here in a minute. Here we have a little overview. Darren is actually the CEO of Cloverleaf. I met him a while back. Great guy and a great organization. Kirsten is also a partner. I believe she's the COO in that organization. This just shows a little bit about how your team can grow as you learn about each other, learn to communicate with each other, and work with each other on a regular basis. So there's integrations. I use Microsoft Office for 3 of my calendars, and I have actually have several different emails, and 3 of those emails are tied in with Cloverleaf. And I use the calendar integration for both Microsoft and for Google. I do not use Slack, but the people that I've heard that use Slack, they rave about it. it can integrate with Slack as well. Who uses it in the swine industry? Well, we're building it more every day. There's some integrators, there's mid-sized farms, there's family farms, there's allied industry folks that use it as well. It's a great tool to help you relate to, connect with, work together with, understand other people in the industry. 4 areas where we have assessments: behavior, culture, strength, and productivity. The behavior assessments are the 16 types, or Myers-Briggs, DISC, and the Enneagram. The 16 types, I've been certified in this one for a number of years. I like this one very much. You'll have a combination of 4 letters. For example, ENFP are my 4 letters. I know Dr. Bradley, her letters are INTJ. What do those mean? Well, if you log in, get started on Cloverleaf, we can tell you all about it. Basically, this helps, the 16 types really helps you to understand your wiring. All of these personality assessments, including DISC, help you to understand your wiring. So DISC, there's 4 areas: D, I, S, and C. I'm a high I with some D. And then Enneagram, I've just recently become certified on Enneagram. I like this. It's an interesting twist on personality. A lot of faith communities focus on Enneagram these days, and it can help you identify not only your strengths, but what some of your challenges or some of the difficult things for you could be in your personality type, and helps you to kind of strategize, building on the strengths and putting systems in place for the weaknesses or the limitations. There's also culture assessments, culture pulse, motivating values, and instinctive drives. I was introduced to all 3 of these at Cloverleaf and with my work with Summit Smart Farms. Really like this. There's group identity and, for example, approachability. If a group is very approachable or a little more not quite as approachable, you'll see this in the culture pulse. Motivating values. These are primary influencers in a person's life. They help kind of stimulate behavior. You can help build leadership around those values. You'll know if your values are being violated. By the way, I've left companies because my ethics and values were violated in the past. So values are very important. Instinctive drives. Really like this one. This is a new one for me since I joined with Cloverleaf and Summit. Instinctive drive shows a person's natural and best way of doing things. And then, of course, you'll get to see your teammates on that as well. Strengths assessments, there are 3. Strengths Finder, I think a lot of people are familiar with that one. It's through Gallup organization in Nebraska. VIA, or Values in Action, is also an excellent one that I was introduced to through this platform, and Strength Scope. So VIA, I really like this. There's 24 different strengths revolve around your character, and we're trying to get to your authentic self here. I love VIA. All kinds of different strengths. We really emphasize those strengths with all of these assessments. By the way, we want to build on strengths. Strengths Finder, there are, 34 different strengths, I believe. For example, my top strength is maximizer. I love to be strategic in what I spend my time in and get the most out of my time that I invest in something. And I love helping people maximize their time. And then we also have Strength Scope. This has just come on board recently. So it's an interesting twist. It's one of the 3 options for strengths. And the final one is Energy Rhythm. This is a productivity assessment. So this helps you understand when you're going to have the most energy, when you're going to be at your best, when you might go through a little dip, or when you might recover. So for me, I schedule some of my most important tasks at certain times a day so I can be at my best. And then other tasks that maybe aren't as important, let's say administrative cleanup details, I put those at times where maybe my energy is down a little bit, but it comes back up later in the day to refocus on those important tasks. And that was the energy rhythm or the productivity assessment. So those are ways to grow your team. What I'm going to do now is back out and go to I'm going to go to the Cloverleaf platform itself. So I am on the Me page. I am on the Me page. So this shows after I've already logged in. I like to close everything up. It's neatly kind of filed away. So I will give you a little highlight, some highlights for the Me page and the team page. One of my favorite things about the Me page is my daily coaching tips. So for example, I've had some meetings today and I've seen these kind of come to life. So for example, change. I like to remain open to different outcomes. That's my tendency, so I don't get boxed in too easily. My communication style, I like engaging with others and I like doing it in non-traditional ways. When Dr. Bradley, Casey Bradley, called me earlier today, I was out riding on my bicycle. Actually, it's a tricycle. I know that sounds funny. It's an adult trike. I gravitate back and forth between that. I love engaging with people, like my coaching tip says, in non-traditional and unexpected ways. So I'll see people out on the trail. I'll announce that I'm coming by and I'll say something like, "Deadly tricyclist on your left." And people will think that's funny. Most people think it's funny, not everybody. There's also tips for leadership style or leadership, persuasion, work style. All these are good things. I look at these daily. I'm going to close that and go to the next thing. So all these assessments that I mentioned earlier are here. Here's the Enneagram. So for example, I'm a number 7, which is an enthusiast. When you click on that, that tells you more about it. I'm going to go to the next one, the DISC, which is for DISC, I'm a persuader. I'm an ID. So I have a strong interest in people. I like influencing people. For example, I like selling Cloverleaf. I like influencing people to purchase a good product like this. I am a high I with D tendencies. That's me right here. That's an influencer with driver or dominant tendencies. Okay, the energy rhythm I mentioned earlier. It's interesting. I really thrive in the middle of the day. I'm not at my best when I first get up. I'm not at my best at the end of the day. My mother's like this night owl. She's like, when 11 p.m. kicks in, she really kicks in her energy like 11 p.m. and next thing you know, it's 3 a.m. So I modify my schedule, my activities so I can be at my best. Energy rhythm. I'm going to show a couple more things. I'm going to go with the Myers-Briggs or the 16 types. So I'm an ENFP. I'm extroverted. That means I like engaging with people, get my energy from engaging with people. I'm intuitive. I'm kind of a big picture guy. I'm feelings or values focused, and perceiving means flexible, spontaneous, open-ended. I can tell you more about the Myers-Briggs. Just reach out to me for any of these. I'd be happy to tell you more. One last thing I want to tell you on the Me page is calendar insights. I really like trying to stay organized. I fool people. I'm not organized naturally, but I present myself as fairly organized. So for example, the calendar insights have all these details of what's going on for the day. So I'm just going to roll back to today when I'm recording this. Well, that didn't work. Actually, yeah, today is the 27th, but I don't have any meeting scheduled. So whenever I have a meeting scheduled for someone that's on Cloverleaf, here's an example, Dr. Martin. Here's a tip for me to relate to Dr. Martin, a long-term friend and industry ally that I've worked with through the years. And then these are all people that I've not gotten on Cloverleaf yet, but I will. So the calendar insights really helps me to stay in tune with, gives me some tips on how to relate to and connect with the people that I'm meeting with that day. The last thing I want to show you is the Teams page. So for example, I'm just going to show you one small team. This is myself and one of my virtual assistants. So all these different assessments, there's a comparison of me and her. So for example, you've heard me talk about the disc. I'm a high I. With D, Clarissa, one of my virtual assistants, she is fantastic with details and closing the loop. Now that's the opposite of me. Is that a bad thing? No, that's an excellent thing. I often pair up with people that are opposites. She does a lot of things well that I don't. She puts structure together, like I write blog posts or I write email newsletters. And then she does things like upload these, make sure the grammar's correct, put them in a good format. She also does some of the administrative tasks on Cloverleaf as well. So you can see your team on Cloverleaf. So for example, DISC, I can compare, or 16 types, Enneagrams, or instinctive drives, any of these things I can compare. So for example, these are some of the key things that are most important to me, and these are some of the things that are most important to her. This helps me to relate to and connect with her on my team. So this is just one example of a team, and all these things are available. All these different assessments are available for you if you want to try Cloverleaf. Okay, Dr. Bradley, I hope this was good for you. Have a good day. Thanks for listening and hearing me out on Cloverleaf.